My name is Ian and welcome to Planted. I'm on a mission to help you have more success in your own yards. And in this video, I'm going to introduce you to ground cover. Now, if you can cover your ground with plants that you want to grow, you get a lot less weeds. This is a really good example of ground cover. This is Ajuga, and I'm going to show you how it works and how you can make it work in your own yard. Let's go. Ground cover comes in all sorts of shapes and sizes, and this ivy is very common. You can see here that it's nicely rooted, a very substantial plant. Not everybody likes ivy. It can become a little bit of a burden, but I've had great success with shearing it back quite hard, and it'll put out nice new fresh growth and doesn't become the pain that you might think it does. Now, everybody's aware of Pachysandra. You've got to make sure that that root ball is intact. If flats come into your store and they readily pull out, then they haven't rooted through. You can see here this one has got a nice root on it, and there's even a side shoot that will start to grow horizontal. Now, a good fan favorite is Vinca. This is Vinca minor. There's Vinca major, and as the name would suggest, it's bigger and faster and has no place in a residential garden. This Vinca is common. It's got the little pale blue flower, but there's purple. There's also a white, which is very attractive. I find this quite well behaved and something that's very, very available. Now, don't forget that you can get these in a variegated form. It's a larger pot, a higher price, still a great plant. Vinca variegata. And you can't go wrong with these. Now, if you want something a little different, very, very tough and robust, this is the creeping thyme. Now, look how flat that is. This is probably less than a half an inch thick. Now, with the creeping thyme, if it has any moisture in the winter, it'll start to diminish and die back. And if it has any mulch on top of it, that will also kill it. So don't be quick to mulch these ground covers. This is Lambium or dead nettle. I don't dislike it. It can look a little bit untidy, but this one's got some nice new shoots coming, and it does have an attractive flower. Now, in the garden setting, Ajuga, I find, is remarkably capable of looking quite tired in early spring, but it starts to put out nice new shoots, and then it starts to get the flowers going, and by the time you get into early summer, it's beautiful. Now, this is in my friend's garden, and we had a strong winter, and there's a patch of Ajuga here that's died back. And it would be easy to think that that whole area is dead and it won't regrow. But you can see that there are plenty of areas of surrounding Ajuga that are not only vibrant and healthy, they're also flowering. And it'll very easily recolonize that area. There's a little side shoot you can see, and this Ajuga will grow into that area, and a few of the existing plants are starting to resprout. So ground covers have got a wonderful ability for what I call self-management. They will kind of fill in a gap and exist and thrive. Now, one of my absolute favorite ground covers is naturally a perennial, which I love. It's called Polygonatum or Solomon's Seal. And this has got a beautiful architectural foliage to it with an arching flower. Absolutely a top plant, and I've actually been given permission to go and dig up a couple of clumps of this plant, which is truly a standout. So thank you very much for that. Now let's get back to Ajuga. Can't say enough about them. This is a variety called Black Scallop. I bought one plant 6 weeks prior to this video, and I divided it in half, so I've got two good-sized clumps. You can see we've got some new roots there. This plant is very healthy and is perfect for dividing. So Ajuga makes a great plant for you to practice plant propagation. And what you end up with is a stem with the roots already growing on it. You can just about make out a few roots on this stem here. So you can go to a friend's house, dig up a clump, go to a store, buy an Ajuga of your choice. And the chances are that you can probably divide it into two, You may even be able to cut out a bunch of little side shoots with roots and pot them on immediately, and within a matter of weeks you've now got more plants. So here you can see me teasing out some roots. I cut the stem, and those are all the roots that you need. Even less than that will work. But I'm a bit of a stickler when it comes to taking cuttings like this. You need to have your potting medium at hand and your pots. And as soon as you take that little side cutting with a few roots, you immediately get it into a pot. They will dry out quite quickly. Don't overly compress the soil. Give it a bit of a shake and a shimmy, as I've shown you in previous videos. And there you have another Ajuga black scallop. Now I'm going to continue going through this plant, breaking off and cutting little side shoots. Every time I do this, I'm always amazed at what the yield is. You get one shoot here, another shoot there, and all of a sudden you're up to a nice count of plants. Take your time. If you hear a little bit of ripping, it's not the end of the world. I wouldn't have that stop you, but this is how it should be done. Nice and gentle, and now you've got 2 Ajuga cuttings that are ready for potting on. So ground covers can be year-round. Ground covers can be spring, summer, and fall only. You could even consider things like petunia a ground cover. Obviously they won't grow back in a frosted area because they die away. But the whole idea of a ground cover is its ability to root and spread sideways. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you get out there and find an Ajuga or another suitable ground cover of your choice, and you can go out there and get planting. I've turned my 1 Ajuga black scallop into 7, and I think that that will just about start my collection. I'll get the 2 ones planted soon, and the rest will follow. Thanks for watching. Tell your friends, tell your family, go and plant something.